Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
What does it mean to build two completely separate careers in two completely separate worlds?
This week, we're talking with Kim Newmoney, a professional photographer with a secret. Most of her clients have no idea she's also a professional skater.
The creative economy is broken, but some people are still making it work. We're here to find out how.
I'm Anna Marie Cox.
And I'm Open Mike Eagle, and this is Past Due. We're here with Kim Newmoney, a Los Angeles-based commercial and editorial photographer who shot for HBO, Showtime, Vogue, Comedy Central, and others. She also has a parallel life as a roller skater. Ooh, indeed. I think this is our first roller skater that we're talking to. How are you today, Kim?
I'm good. I think it's funny you use the word parallel because there really is no crossover between being a commercial editorial photographer and a skater. Like there's so many people who know me as just a skater and people who just know me as a photographer. And when they find out about the other, they're like, what are you talking about? Like,
I bet there's
parallel. Like, seriously.
Okay, there's parallel communities, but I can imagine that there are overlapping skill sets and lessons.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to be resilient in both, for sure, and creative.
Nimble.
You have to kind of be on your toes at all times. You just gotta roll with it.
Literally, yeah. Gotta roll with it. Maybe I'm just thinking too metaphorically. What would you like to talk about first?
Well, shouldn't we start with our OG
fascinated.
Question?
Oh, you know what? Yes, OG question. Kim, answer this question any way you feel comfortable. When's the last time you worried about making your monthly expenses?
Oh, for 2 solid years, I was digging myself out of the red up until maybe 2-3 months ago.
So was that the last time then?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
So what happened?
Congratulations,
Thanks.
actually. Let's first of all,
yeah.
Good job. Yeah. Although money is an illusion, debt is fake, it's all defined by culture and not by actual numbers. So
you needed to thrive in LA though.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike, you were saying something.
I wanted to dig into what happened 2 or 3 months ago to begin to turn things around for you and give you a little bit of breathing room.
I photographed a very big commercial job with Charles Barkley.
Nice.
It was like my second biggest paid job I had ever done. There were over 100 people on set. It was a big production. Yeah, it was cool to have my own set with him. So I did work directly with him, but there were 2 marketing agencies that flew in from all over the country to be involved. Charles Barkley is known to say out of pocket stuff all the time. He's a wild man. So yeah, it was no different No different on set, no different hanging out with him for the day.
I'm curious about the skill set kicking in. I think that's something that a lot of our listeners probably understand, but worth digging into. The idea that every tiny job you book, every non-well-paying job you book, builds you towards turning it on, like when you have to.
1,000%.
Is that yeah?
Mm-hmm. I mean, as a photographer, I started out shooting for an event photography company in North Carolina, and we did like a lot of sorority fraternity functions, and that was pretty wild stuff to see. It was like bidding days, so, like everyone's like in khakis, and like it's such a bizarre experience, especially as like an Asian person in a primarily white space. I also like started out as a band photographer, freelance, then went into weddings to pay my way through college. So working in all these different environments with all sorts of different people, on top of having worked in nail salon for like 8 years, like I mentioned this because you have to sit with people. You have to be able to talk to them or find things to talk about. I mean, you don't have to, but for me, I'm kind of a yapper. So like I need that to connect to say, capture someone's essence as a photographer.
And I'll say that it's somebody, I mean, me and you've worked together a lot over the years. Some of my most iconic photography stuff that we did together. And and I think that is interesting how you developed your style through all those different jobs and environments, because I really do think you bring that to a set. You really establish a connection, which for me as somebody being photographed, it really makes it easy for me to be comfortable and get out of my head and do the things we got to do to make it work. One thing I'm really curious about with this big gig you just did, I think that a lot of what creatives have to do in this environment is to be looking for the big gig, but not holding their breath, waiting for it. And it's kind of like a weird dance. I want to know what it felt like for you. Like, I don't know if you get, if people reach out to you via email, or I don't know if you have to audition for photography gigs. Like, what is the feeling like when you find out that you're being selected to do this after having been struggling for so long?
It's pretty damn validating, honestly. The Charles Barkley gig, I actually had no idea about it. Just got an email from this Chicago advertising agency that had been familiar with my work, but they were introduced to me by the director of the entire day because they're also shooting commercial spots as well. But I guess the agency had already known about me. So when she threw my name in the hat, JJ Adler, I don't know if you're familiar with her. That was pretty cool. But I think a lot of these big jobs I get through friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
yeah,
I do have a reputation for like not only being a photographer, but also a socialite. But I think that's a great privilege because I know a lot of photographers do not get to be social with their clients as well. Like a lot of my clients turn into friends. Like, Mike, I don't know if we were friends first or if we were client. And
I think client first. I believe we were clients.
Yeah.
I think that was the first.
I want to talk about working in a nail salon, preparing you to deal with Charles Barkley. The direct line there.
Deal with him?
to chat him up, to be able to have a cool, I mean, I am just going to assume that you had a good vibe with him. He does seem like a pretty interesting person to hang out with, I have to say. When were you working in nail salons?
Oh, I mean, as a child, all the way up until like my 20s. It was definitely child labor stuff going on there.
What is, as a person who's gotten my nails done, I do think that there are sort of different styles of salon chit chat. So do you feel like you learned how to do that, or is there a skill set that is teachable, or is that something that you just kind of comes to you pretty naturally?
I mean, it's always been pretty natural. Like, I would say there were nail salon workers who were just quiet the entire time. I think, I was a very isolated kid, being the only daughter of three, I had three brothers. And I was like pretty much like locked away in a tower, whereas they could just flitter about. No one ever knew where they were at all times, but like everyone always knew where Kim was, like I was. So it was like definitely a way to be social, because I wasn't even allowed to go to movie theaters, sleepovers, anything like that. My parents were just very protective of me in that way. So it was very like therapeutic for me to just yap for an hour with a stranger while I'm like scrubbing their feet, or no, seriously, I was literally scrubbing people's feet in like southern Georgia, which is just, stereotypes are fun, but yeah, I also did like the nail art in the salon too. So usually I would get like the more colorful, interesting people. Because it was like, someone's like, I want this crazy airbrush design, and they would just point to me in the corner, and I'd be ready with an airbrush gun.
I'm terrible at small talk. So I would love to know if you actually do have any tips for, like, specifically if there is anything that you can bring from nail salon to Charles Barkley, if you notice that about yourself, if you were going to advise somebody. And I'm just using Charles Barkley since we talked about him before. But if you had to, if you're going to have to make small talk with someone you don't know, like, where do you start? Like, what's the entry point? It's not the weather, is it? Is it the weather?
No.
Okay, good.
Nowadays for me, since I like love food and everyone eats it, I always ask them like, oh, what'd you eat today? It's a strange question, but it's just kind of like it makes someone think about their day, where they were, if it was their favorite meal, if it was an awful meal, or like sometimes we'll start talking about restaurants, and like it's fun, or someone's like, oh, I cook all the time. So you really get to know someone easily that way. Crafty on Charles Barkley's set was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. We had this like crazy sushi spread, and yeah, it just around the clock, we're always having something brought to us. It was by like an Armenian man. Like smoothies.
That's what rich people do, man.
Oh, yeah.
They just like have food brought to them constantly. I was married into a wealthy family for a while, and they had a boat.
Question mark?
And the thing that they had a boat. No, they had a boat. And the thing that distinguished the boat experience for me was constantly being brought food. Just like every 5 minutes, just like, would you like nuts? Would you like a little finger sandwich? Would you like a non-alcoholic cocktail? Would you like, or alcoholic? I mean, I didn't drink the alcoholic ones, but like, it's just, and I actually think, I have a theory of being a celebrity or a talent or the person who's always served, which is that it's really hard to do that and keep a sense of proportion about yourself.
To stay grounded.
That's like the times that I've been talent. I'd be interested, Kim, what you might have observed in your time. At times in my life that I've been talent, and I know, Mike, you've been talent before, when people are just constantly asking how they can help you and how they can serve you in not so many words, like, it's hard to, you start to think your ideas are pretty great, and that like it feels like you just, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, but when it just keeps happening, like, it's hard to remember, like, no, this is not about me. This is about, like, this is just the role that I'm in right now, like, I don't know. And I do think that if that continually happens for a long time, I don't know. Kim, I'm curious. I'm curious about both of your experience. You all live in LA. Yeah. So like, I've been around cable news people, which that's actually kind of hilarious that they think of themselves as the center of the world, considering what cable news viewership is. But like, Kim, what's your experience with that? Like, seeing people being catered to in a literal way? I guess.
I think what's very interesting about my clients is they talk to working class people a lot, and you see that on set. Like, for example, for me, I've been on set in front of camera a couple times. I actually have a stunt agent as a skater. Yeah, Mike's eyebrows went up. He was like, "What?"
I love it. I want to hear more about that too. I want to hear about that as like a side gig. But
I mean, I've
so you've been on both sides.
I've worked in restaurants too, and like I speak Spanish. Like I worked in. Also, my parents were chicken farmers. The other half of their professional career, large scale industrial chickens. So like 600,000 chickens at a time, and I was like
Wow.
in those houses working, and it wasn't to the lack of being able to hire other people. They just wanted to know where I was at all times. So the chicken house was sometimes where I was, and I was talking to like migrant workers, like people who were also picking up chickens with their hands, like dead chickens. So I think for me, when I'm on set, I'm always at Crafty, not to eat, but just to like hang out with those people. I was always like that in restaurants too. I'd always be like hanging out with the dishwasher, like speaking Spanish. So for me, I just find out where the workers are, like the AD, like I'm always like chatting up the assistants and stuff. So I don't know, cause like the hustle's the hustle, and like you find other hustlers. And for me on set, those are the hustlers because they make things happen. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, it is interesting that the clientele I have, because they don't own boats. But some of them do own a second house, some of them have like Marvel money. Some of them have written books, like are really good friends with like Roxanne Gay, which is like, no, I know it's crazy.
I know it's just weird to pull her out as like the rich, like a super rich person.
Well,
like, I mean,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
no, she's super successful.
Yeah, but
she's just
like
really
she's
successful
for the working class though, so it's
okay.
I'm trying to talk about like my clients. We're all sort of like on the fringe, like right on the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did a television special once. Roxanne Gay for a time had like these book review specials that were on HBO, and I was on one of them with her and her wife. And it's funny because it reminds me of my experience with the sort of talent to worker transition, because like that was a set where, just like much like my show when I had it, people are bending over backwards to, in that case, serve Roxanne. And when it was the New Negroes, it was to serve me and Baron. But I think we all sort of had the understanding that this was temporary. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was not, I don't think any of us had in our minds, this 12 seasons, we're all going to get rich off of this. And so that knowledge, and also my experience on stage, like, I'm on stage a lot, a room full of 400, 500 people, where for the time that I'm on stage, it's all about me. But I have to quickly transition once I get off the stage into having a much more balanced and grounded way to see myself and people. And so, I think over the course of my career, I've just learned to shift those gears really easily, and never to expect it like how I am when I'm on stage, or how things are when I have a show. It's just how things are going to be.
I actually have a client who she is the star of a show. She pulls up in her car. It's a very nice car. Security won't let her in. And, they have her name. She's actually the star of the show. And she was like, if you look over that fence, you can see my trailer. My name is on it. And the security refused to let her in because they thought she was crafty. That happens to her on set a lot, that they think she's crafty, even though she's literally the star of like pretty much every show she's on.
Can I ask what color this person is?
Oh, I bet I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you know too.
I was going to.
Yeah. It's definitely
really
a wackadoo. That's a wackadoo realm to be in, like us being in this, because I have the privilege of showing up. I'm really cute. So they're like, oh, she must do something,
Right. Look like
and I do run a set, like I do, and people treat me like that on set. They also do cater to me and everything, but I always ask them like, have you eaten? because we're in that position we're in charge, so it's like what you care about, you choose what you care about. And for me, it's like, I really care about like the well-being of the workers at all times. Cause if like you go to a restaurant and every server is miserable, like, they're not getting paid well. They're not being treated well. But when you're on a set where everyone's happy, I'm like, oh, this is great.
I did want to acknowledge that one reason why the talent thing probably hits differently for me is that I am people listening. I am a white lady.
Shocking to me.
One of the whitest.
Theater of the mind.
Really.
I don't know if people had you as ethnic in their minds. It's good to lift the veil.
Could be code switching, I guess.
Please don't. Please don't.
She does occasionally say,
oh my God. Mike is very aware that I will not even pretend.
You say off the dome sometimes, though. That's the one.
I said off the dome. I got confirmation. Off the dome is like in public domain now. Like it. I was asking around.
Who were you asking?
What were you trying to say? First of all,
I just said off the dome. I was like off the top of my head. Dome is another word for top of the head, right? Like it's just this is the dome, and I feel like but I will not say it in a way that makes it sound like I'm trying to appropriate. That's my sort of hard line.
You tell yourself no one wants your college-era band tees, but on Depop, people are searching for exactly what you've got. You once paid a small fortune for them at merch stands. Now, a teenager who calls them vintage will offer that same small fortune back. Sell them easily on Depop. Just snap a few photos and we'll take care of the rest. Who knew your questionable music taste would be a money-making machine? Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
If you're looking for some of the sharpest takes on film and television, I hope you'll tune in to Critics at Large from The New Yorker.
Over here at Critics at Large, we like talking about what we loved, but crucially, what we hated about what we're watching.
But even more, we like making sense of what's happening in the culture right now and how we got here.
Join us as we make our way from Eddington to Moby Dick, from Ted Lasso to the rise in therapy speak, from The Pit to Luigi Mangione.
It's Critics at Large from The New Yorker, wherever you get your podcasts.
I just can't get over your background, Kim. Like, salon nail worker, industrial chicken farmer, child labor endurer. Now I want to ask about whether working at a chicken farm can help contribute to your skill set that you have now, because that's one that I'm having a harder time, like even metaphorically. Although I guess you can deal with mess and also have a high tolerance for strong odors. And I don't know if that comes up as a photographer.
Yeah, I mean, mess and odors also in the nail salon because you have those chemicals.
Oh yeah.
Mess because you're working with, a woman who's 80. Her caretaker took her in to get her toenails clipped after 2 months or something. It definitely prepared me all what's more humbling than scrubbing someone's foot is sitting at the end of a conveyor belt while chicken eggs are rolling to you and you have to hand weigh each one and clean the shit off of them with a Brillo pad. It really humbles you. You never forget that.
You bring that to where you are today. Is that a thing that you are able to call to mind when things feel like hard in this now, by comparison, pretty, I don't know if something can be hard in a luxurious way, but you're not, at least, I sometimes when things feel hard for me, I do think to myself, I'm not breaking rocks. but you're not cleaning shit off eggs. Is that like a comfort or a way of contextualizing what you might be going through, or is hard?
I mean, hard is hard, and I acknowledge this from a place of like, there's a monthly meeting that me and other LA comedy photographers will get together and hang out. And I realize in that group, I'm the one who's giving like legal advice, and I'm the one who's telling people what to price things, because I've been in the LA comedy scene for 12 years, photographer for longer before that, before I moved to LA. But yeah, I mean, no one knows about contracting. Like, I have a lawyer. I've been repped by an agency before. And like, I'm one of the very, very, very few in that group that have that experience and know how to do like a 5-figure job, you know? So it's all very difficult. I hate to bring up skating, but like, I think skating also made me extremely fearless. I don't wring my hands when I have to answer an email anymore, which I would before, because you just have to jump, right? So there's so many different factors to all of this too. Like, I think that's another reason why I get respect on a set. Like, people already respect me. I'm very privileged in that way that they'll even approach me. But like, even if I go to that set, it's my set. The way I move is also like, I'm not above moving sandbags, like, 50-pound bags. Like, I do it all the time. But just coming from a very rugged manual labor family, it's all connected for sure.
I want to talk a little bit about family without knowing much about your background. Actually, the picture you paint makes it seem like your family was really protective and probably wanted you to have a very orthodox and stable life as they saw it, right? And you've made your own way in ways that seem very unorthodox. As much as you'd want to get into it, like, what is their relationship to what you do and the life you've made?
Honestly, they don't even know to what degree I skate. I'm a very rough and tumble skater. Again, I'm like a professional skater. That's a big part of me as well. But as a photographer, I actually went to school on a Pell Grant. But previously, before that, I was pre-dental and I had a year left.
Wow.
I was out of state. I told my parents I was dropping out with a year left because I didn't want to be in a fluorescently lit office for the rest of my life. I also, no one's happy to see a dentist. I think it's like the second highest, suicide rate of all in the medical fields.
Really?
Yeah, vets are really high. I know that.
And surgeons. I think surgeons are number one. But yeah, when I told them I was dropping out, they were like, we're not talking to you for a while. So immediately cut off like emotional support. And I worked as an event photographer, and also I worked at Porter's studio, like photographing toddlers. And then that's when I went into weddings. When I became an in-state resident, I went into a 2-year associate's degree program for commercial photography at this podunk in the middle of nowhere place in North Carolina on a Pell Grant. Thanks, Obama, literally. And outside of the books, outside of room and board, that's where the wedding money came from, like, or where it went to. I hadn't talked to them in a long time. And one day I get a call out of the blue. And my mom was like, yeah, your aunt said she saw your picture of Obama. And I was like, yes, I did photograph Obama. And she was like, huh. Like, it wasn't very like, oh, how cool, or congratulations. It was just very like, I mean, in my head, I'm like, you haven't talked to me in a long time. You're upset I'm a photographer. And then you call me out of the blue to just be like, I saw this picture of Barack Obama you took. And, she's getting approval from her family. Like, oh, Kim's making as a photographer. Like, that's great. And my mom, my dad are both like, yeah, our daughter's awesome. She's doing great as a photographer. I'm just like, okay, suddenly. Thanks, guys. Like, I really appreciate that. But I get it. I also understand it. They were born into the Vietnam War. They've seen a lot of terrible things. They came to America with zero money, no English. I think like Coca-Cola cans were like 25 cents or something like that. And now they're retired in Florida and they're thriving. They're doing great. But it was just all from, I definitely come from like a family of like hustlers, like entrepreneurs. And they weren't too like proud to do any of it either.
Yeah.
The things they had to do. So they're seeing me make it work. They had no idea about my whole financial situation in the last 2 years. But I sent them pictures of me and Charles Barkley, and they're like, awesome. I told them
might as well use it if you have it, right? Like, might as well, like, if you're doing really well and you have the signifier of I'm doing really well, not even give them something to brag about, right?
Yeah. It was like my largest job was with Elizabeth Banks, and I told them how much I was getting paid then. They were so proud. I think they just didn't know it was possible to make this much money.
Can I ask how much these pay?
Elizabeth Banks was $38K. Charles Barkley was $28K.
Wow. That's not bad. That would
not too bad.
I would almost get out of debt. Almost.
Almost.
Almost. I would have to be. Then I need to save some of that to live on. So
yeah,
it's a little tricky. But I think my creditors would be very happy if I could pay them that much. That's fantastic. I love that, and thank you for being candid about that too. I think
photographers don't have a union. We got to talk about this. Like, we all got to talk about pricing because some of us are being thrown in the same hat. Some of us are unknowingly lowballing each other. It's because we're in a place of scarcity that we're not able or willing to share information. And I'm just like, well, we're kind of all shooting each other in the foot if we're not unionizing.
I feel the same way about writers. I think that we have been pit against each other so hard that, and then there's the, capitalism would like us to treat money as both something to celebrate when you have it, but also shameful about the exact numbers, right? Like, you're supposed to show off the things you can buy, but the actual dollar amount that what you take home or what you have is like, uncool to talk about. So I really appreciate that. And I think you're right. It's one of the reasons the show exists, to be honest. And one of the reasons we asked that question at the beginning. It's amazing how many people we have on who, obviously we know their names and we think of them as being pretty successful, but have stories that show the instability that's really rocked, like, the creator economy in the past couple of years. It's never been a steady, it's a growth industry. Everyone wants to get in on it, but the instability is real and it only stays unstable if we don't talk about it.
I seriously felt like a canary in a coal mine. Like the whole year before the writer's strike, I wasn't getting booked that much. And I was just like, is this going to be forever? This is really hard. And I started doing these sessions in my front yard. I called them my front yard minis, where you have like 30 minutes and you could book me for $250. And so many people out of the woodwork came out because they've been wanting to shoot with me forever, but they weren't able to afford a full session. And so it was like a nice in between. And literally that's how every month I dug myself out of the red.
Wow.
And then the strike happened.
And so then what did that do to you? What did that do to your bookings? I would imagine it devastated them, but what was the reality like?
And to be clear, that's not because you are on strike, but because nothing's getting promoted, right? Like,
nothing's getting promoted. No one's getting jobs. I know that the major studios the year before greenlit 333 projects. And then the year after the strike, they only greenlit 100. And out of that, the percentage of like queer or people of color, like those stories, even less. Even like you would think maybe it'd be the same, maybe a little more because you have like less projects. So it's like more concentrated, but actually like that really affected me because most of my clients are on the fringe, and it's not because we meant to, it's just literally because of the bodies we're in.
Yeah, there's I want to say it's the Annenberg School, maybe.
Yeah,
does an annual head count basically of showrunners down to, you know, junior writers, and you can draw, it's a straight line, like from Trump's election, honestly. Like it started a little bit before that. It started kind of when started in 2024, but the number of like shows that are run already really tiny, you know, by anyone who's not a straight white guy. And I think that actually there is no major show like worth, you know, they have some cutoff of like what the budget is per episode, but like the most prestigious episodes, I think every single one of them is helmed by a straight white guy. Like most prestigious as in most expensive, I should say.
Well, I'm thinking about
prestige and expense.
First thing I think of is like Mike White, like White Lotus. Like it makes sense for him not to have a completely melanated cast, but he does have melanated people in there because you tell writers to write what you know. So why would he have a main character as like, say, a Black person? But I'm like, well, why does it have to be Mike White that gets the huge chunk of money? Could it be somebody else? I mean,
well, there's also the smaller writer. The writing rooms are really tiny.
Yes.
Like there's not like the pipeline has narrowed to like a pinprick. And I want to say, like, I'm talking about, I wrote about this a while ago, so that's one of the reasons that I know, but in the journalism field, exact same thing is happening. Like, just, you know, look at New York Times, you know, look at all the most prestigious, elite institutions and who is doing the writing and who's doing the editing. And then you look further down and the pipeline's getting super skinny.
I will say the art is getting pretty damn good. Like the more angsty people are, the more unhappy, unsatisfied they are. They just really lean into the like motion of whatever craft they're doing. And like, for example, I think about when Obama was in office first time around. It's like, what was the music like? Because all I remember is like LMFAO. Like that's all we had. That's all we had, right? But you know, when Trump was elected, it was like Solange came out with "Seat at the Table." You know, like Kendrick's just been really extra mad lately because of pedophilia and stuff, and it's like these are just like mainstream examples. You know what I mean? But it's like, of course, it's like struggle. It forges character, right? But I hate that for us as well because it's hard. It's hard.
Mike,
to struggle.
Mike, what do you think?
Well, actually, I'm actually curious because we don't have a lot of time left, and you actually make an interesting point that I want to dig into with you. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm bailing on that particular sentence fragment. Yeah, but we're laying out the last few years have been a struggle for a lot of people, and the things that you were doing to try to make rent and hustling and all of that. And, you know, when you're talking about times get hard, people leaning into art, but you pivoted into a completely whole different thing. And just as much as you want to get into it, like I'm so curious about the thought behind leaning into skating in the time that you did. And if it's part of what you're describing, like times being hard and you want to try to do something else.
So during the pandemic, I was engaged and holed in a house with somebody. We would walk this bike path every night. And there's this one girl who was skating on these like light up wheels. And I just mumbled, "Oh, that looks fun." And he kind of like internalized that. And maybe the next month, I was just so bedridden because like Asian hate crimes were happening. Like I remember there was this old Pasadena couple that had passed away because like they were assailed in the street because COVID and everyone was really just doing all that. And I was so bedridden, and he was just like searching his brain. He's like, what can I do to cheer her up? And he went on eBay. This was a time when anything athletic was being bought up and like just sold at insane prices. These skates were $99 retail, and he won the eBay bidding war and paid $500 for them. Ouch. Yeah. But every day after that, you know, it'd be like 100, 105 degrees. I just went outside and skated. That's all I did. I couldn't even stand on them at first. And when we split, I actually went celibate for a whole year and just, that's when I turned pro. When I turned pro as a skater, actually.
I love it. I'm going to take up skating.
It's great to transmute the horny energy into something else, you know? Like,
Lord knows people need a place to put the horny.
You know, I haven't been getting any, and I haven't had a really good excuse, but now I'm going to be like, I'm turning my focus to skating. I like that. I'm going to backwards engineer it.
Yeah. But it's like interesting because I've had people find out I'm a skater, even though they've known I've been like a comedy photographer for many years. They find out I'm a skater, and then they decide to reach out to me then because they're like, whoa, you're such a cool person. You do this other thing. Can I hire you to like photograph me? Like, adds like another layer of interest. Like, because you can only express yourself so much with other people's pictures. You know, like you can't be like all pro Palestine with like a client's picture. You know, it's like, it doesn't work like that unless, you know, the person, but.
2 questions. One, do you ever skate and photograph at the same time?
Never done it.
Okay. I think that could be really cool. Just off the top of the dome.
Oh, Jesus.
This is an idea that I had.
Yeah.
And then as far as Free Palestine goes, where does that fit into skating? Is that...
I've actually posted videos where I'm doing really like difficult tricks that like other people cannot do. And I remember one Christmas I wrote like, happy holidays. Here's a reminder that Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. And it got, I mean, I had blown up way before that, but that got so much traction. And I actually recently went to go find that video, and it disappeared off my feed.
Whoa.
Hello? Like,
well.
like that's pretty wild. Like, I don't like ice. And so I actually like have videos of me. I'm actually skating to my friend's like fuck ice song that she has. And I'm doing like these splits, and I have like a sign that says like California used to be Mexico. Like it's fun to do it that way, like with my body, with my likeliness, with my like 360s and, you know, jumping stairs and stuff. I can't do that with photography. Like, not in that way, unless like you go the photojournalism route.
Well, this has been an awesome conversation. And since this is a podcast about how creators are navigating these difficult times, one of the most important things we do is turn the show over to our guests so they can do plugs and let people know how they can best support you. So if you have something to plug, now's the time.
Well, if you want to see my work, my portfolio, it's at www.kimnewmoney.com. If you want to see my skating, it's newmoney.forever, Instagram, TikTok. I think one thing I want to add to anybody listening as an artist in the industry is don't ever be too good for anything. That's how I dug myself out of that hole.
I think, you know, humility is an undervalued asset, ironically. Yeah, being willing to do what you got to do and to like not have your ego be the thing that's in charge. Totally.
Well,
agree.
it's like self-awareness is such a hot topic nowadays, but I think some people interpret self-awareness as just being so aware of yourself, when in reality, self-awareness means contextually, how are you affecting everyone around you?
Yeah.
That's like another thing too, I think, in LA. I'm not saying people need to be humbled, but I'm just like, the struggle could be, if you struggle just a little bit just to make it, like, that's fine, guys. Like, just don't be too good for anything, really.
This has been a fantastic conversation. I really appreciate you adding that in with little extra bonus. And I am going to look up your skating videos.
Oh,
I'm
no.
so excited. And
Prepare for
also,
bruises.
I am sincerely thinking I'm going to have to see if those skates are back to $99, because that sounds like fun, and I could put the energy somewhere. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
Kim.
me.
Talk
You guys
soon.
are great. Bye.
Past Due is hosted by Anna Marie Cox and Open Mike Eagle. It's produced by Andrew Steven. You can find more at pastduepodcast.com. Help support the show by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/pastdue. You'll get bonus content, extended interviews, and more. As always, if you like what we're doing, another way to help is by subscribing, sharing the show, and leaving us a review. Thanks for listening.
We all need advice, but it's not always clear who to ask, even in 2026. Enter How To, the long-standing advice show and Ambie Award-nominated Best Personal Growth podcast that's back with new episodes and a new host. Who? Me, Mike Pesca. Each week, I tackle a listener question ranging from travel to finance to relationships and beyond, with help from a world-class expert, someone who actually very much knows what they're talking about. Think of it as eavesdropping on someone else's therapy session without the copay or awkward silences. You've got questions, we'll find the experts and the answers. So follow How To with Mike Pesca wherever you get podcasts.
Have you ever asked yourself, can the president really do that? Or wondered if there was too much money in political campaigns? Then check out the new season of You Might Be Right, hosted by us, former Tennessee governors Phil Bredesen and Bill Haslam.
We're back for a brand new season now, and You Might Be Right cements the idea that constructive disagreement can lead to real problem solving. This season, we're going to dig into the role of the National Guard, AI regulation, and a lot more.
New episodes drop every other week. Follow You Might Be Right wherever you get your podcasts.